Hello, good morning, and happy Friday. My name is Jared.
My name's Isaac.
And this is the Uraine Ordonez 5 Diamond Group podcast. Happy Friday once again. This week, instead of diving into the typical real estate agenda, the hot topic here in Las Vegas is back to school. It's been a bit of a drama for many parents, right?
What was the last time you were back to school?
What do you know about parenthood, man?
I want to know when was the last time you were back to school.
Back to school? Okay, well, you want to get technical, as in like education-wise, or as in like to go and help and support the kids? I actually have not been to the school since last school year. So I have a pass to parent volunteer with the school district. And so, I get to go and help the teachers whenever they need help. But ironically, our entire registration process this year and acquiring all of the equipment and books and so forth, I haven't had to go simply because Gabby's taking care of a lot of that.
That work clip?
But man, yesterday we were at the park and Jameson was on the fence, man. He was like, I miss school. That's a first. Okay, cool. I can live with that.
What is that saying? You don't know
what you miss until you lose it?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what you have until you lose it, right?
Until it's gone.
Yeah.
There you go.
So on a side note, we usually shoot our podcasts here bright and early.
Yes.
But today,
since it's the afternoon, our sponsor.
Well, not quite.
Okay, fine. Silent sponsor.
But if you guys haven't tried this is a local brewery, Craft House, Silver State Beer, and Las Vegas Brew.
Big dogs.
Yeah, big dogs. So supporting our local breweries.
And with that, since this is a parent conversation about our kids, the distance learning program, we'll talk a little bit about what that is, how it's different than the typical school year, and more importantly, the experience that I've had so far with many of the parents is trying to adapt to this new adjustment because A, it's not expected, and B, a lot of parents just don't have the resources to be prepared for something like this. So we've talked quite a few times about being available to help our parents learn. This particular episode has helped to digest some of that information. We've got some tips and tricks towards the end to help you on actual how-to within the Chromebook experience. And most importantly, resources, links for everything that we're talking about today. So let's dive in.
So what are some of the challenges that you're seeing? You got two boys.
So as far as making the adjustment, getting them to know keyboard strokes, like they're in first and second grade, but for us typing is easy. They are still learning. They actually have games for typing, which is really cool. But they want to do the keyboard strokes and they're not flying right through the keys, which is cool. They'll get there. I get it. And then tackling technical issues, right? For Jacques, he gets a link every day to see his Google Meets to be on his class. He knows how to navigate that Gmail and click on that link, and I don't have to worry about him. Jameson, his teacher has just a dedicated link every day, and he's memorized that code, so he can log in. It's pretty cool. But if there's some reason the computer is going slow, he's got too many browsers, it's just lagging, or today he was in the middle of a meeting and I thought his computer was plugged in, battery died. Oh. Just dropped right out. Papa! So it's stuff like that, But I know of other parents who's are dealing with having to just navigate the browser and do the work inside of the browser.
Right.
We take for granted our devices that we have today because we're so used to, the interactive touchscreen experience. Right. That's just intuitive. Now we have to rethink what was computers like 10, 12 years ago. So that's the kind of mindset that you kind of, as a parent, have to go into. We've seen what this looks like before. We know how to navigate a computer, but now we have to just help our kids kind of step back and see how that is. That, I think, has been the hardest lesson for many parents to step into.
So, elementary school, two decades ago, two and a half decades ago.
Yeah, wasn't that far, man.
We actually got they gave us PlayStations, and they gave us these special
You're referring
games.
to the gaming?
Yeah, the gaming system.
Wow.
And so we got PlayStations, we got these games that were specifically to help us learn. And so coming from a household where we were low income, so I didn't have like Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, any of that. So that was a learning curve for me to just kind of jump in on PlayStation,
Wow.
And then I remember there was a point where I needed to type up some documents, and so we got a Windows 95 computer. So that's the first experience I have. Is probably
That wouldn't be a bad thing if it was 95.
well
In 95.
it wasn't a 95, but we're talking about I was probably 10 years old when we got a Windows 95 computer. Which by the time I think Windows XP was already out. So.
No comment.
Yeah.
I see why you love Apple.
Yeah. So much easier.
So the Clark County School District enacted this distance learning program for the safety of our public health, and not just for the community, but also for the students and the teachers, right? And so they've made massive adjustments in order to facilitate these experiences. And I think that while majority of the students might have done fine with the adjustment, it's still a new experience, and that change, just along with all the other stresses we have to deal with in the market, the economy, and wearing a mask everywhere, I still forget, man. It's just there's additional stress. So something as a parent to be aware of: there are resources that are available, not just through the district, but also through the county, that will help with us either individually as stress or even to our children. One of the cool things that Clark County is going to be doing is Clark County School District is doing wellness checks on the kids to see how they are in adapting to the environment. And I can vouch for the boys. Like, Jacques is super social. He needs his stimulation for his friends and stuff, and so that's been a really tough adjustment for him the first week. And I know for many of the kids, or even the parents for that matter, having the kids out, man.
Well, even if you're not social, it's still a good exercise to become and have that social skills of that you're gonna need when you get older. So I can definitely seeing the downside to being away from a classroom and not interacting with others.
Yeah, and I mean, just being able to have that interaction with a teacher, like you said, develop those social skills. But for a child that's at a young age, they learn their roles, their respect, not just for a teacher, but also for the leadership of the school, adults. Those are all just practiced every day inside of that school system, and they're missing out on that. Right. And so we all hope that we kind of get back to some sort of normalcy here soon. But in the meantime, as parents, we have specific tools that are available to us for being able to monitor the progress of our children, as well as being able to communicate directly to the teachers. The first one, of course, is Infinite Campus here in Clark County, Las Vegas. That allows us to see what the calendars are, what our general assignments are for the kids, updates, attendance and schedules, overall academic plans, just literally everything you want to see at a high level from a parent's perspective. And the other tool that we use daily is Class Dojo, and that's our interactive app that we have connecting us with the teacher. And they'll send messages, and it's kind of like Facebook. There's a feed that they can blast to all of the group members in the class if we need it. But we can also talk individually to the teacher. So if you don't have those, check the website, ccsd.net, and you can click those links from there on it. When you were in school, did you have access? I mean, obviously everybody had lunch and stuff, right? But there were some programs out there that allowed kids to get their meals for free. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, so you either got it free, you either got it at a discount, or depending on, I guess, the income of the household, then you had to pay for it. So.
And so this year, as well as last year, CCSD received a grant from the federal government, offsetting the cost of all meal programs for all kids in the entire district. So all the meals, breakfast and lunch, would be included. And that program is still available. So if there's folks that are in need of meals for breakfast and lunch, your child's student ID will get both of those for free,
Nice.
which is really, really
Real
cool.
good, yeah.
They have over 300 distribution locations throughout the valley that you can check. There's one of the schools nearby will have a distribution center. So absolutely take advantage of that. The only things you need is either the student's ID card or know what their grade and where they're enrolled at, so that they can validate their information and then go from there. So
That's awesome.
yeah, really, really cool. As far as attendance, like for the students, like what does that look like? Because they're not in an actual class. Keep in mind, there's only 3 requirements at the moment. They've got to be able to complete the classwork. They have to attend the real-time class sessions. And then, of course, they've got to meet directly with the teacher and communicate with them on one level. Lucas was saying his brother's got hours upon hours of work to keep them busy, and so, while the morning session might last 45 minutes on a class meeting, they still got hours of work to take care of. And that seems a little challenging for some, but depending on the grade. So I was wondering, okay, well, they told me the schedule for my first and second grader would go from 9 to 3, and I was expecting 6 hours of work. But based on their requirements, grades pre-K to 2, they're only expecting 60 to 90 minutes of actual hour time. But from 3 to 5, 90 to 120 minutes a day, which, from an elementary school, okay, fine. Middle school, high school, they've ramped up those hours because they are a little more responsible. They've got more work to do, and of course they've got bigger goals to get through. So that takes us now to the subject of the actual technology.
Oh. All right, first of all,
hold on, let me roll my sleeves up.
First of all, when it comes to technology, Jared, you're pretty tech savvy. You like the new stuff. You like
you don't gotta lie. Dude.
You like second best.
You're an Apple dude. You don't have to throw shade.
Like I said, you like second best. But you're still up there. If I ever have to switch from a Mac,
you're right. Second best when 2010. That's right. Yeah, it's now 2020, buddy.
Oh man, that is a 2010.
Yes. Microsoft Surface Book as opposed to an Apple iPad.
Well, this is my go-to.
Yes.
Or my to-go.
As you can see, we have opposite views, which is why we have a really fun relationship. But at the same time, we are very tech forward. We understand kind of what has happened, where things are going with technology, and so it's part of the subject that we really enjoy. And when they said the word Chromebooks, I kind of cringed. Because I've tried them out, and I have 4 of them at the house that I bought and used for like a week.
That would be the last computer I'd ever buy.
Right?
Right.
Well, it's not technically a computer. So when you think about it, and that's really kind of like the difference is that it's basically just a keyboard with access to the web browser. And everything's web browser. Like, based on, if it can access the web, great. But it's not designed to do hardware installations on a local drive or, being able to do computer programming on that level. So everything web-based
works great.
Is what it's for.
And thinking Chrome, they have the whole G Suite that they have the Google Docs, PowerPoint, or their version of it.
Right.
All that works great on web. And they even have these little icons that you can download on your desktop, but they take you to the website.
Right.
It's like a little shortcut.
Right.
It's not really an app for your computer, whereas Microsoft Word or the Office suite gives you actual apps that work.
You don't
natively.
need an internet connection to access those programs,
correct.
right? Because they run off of the system that's built.
And of course, Microsoft's been in the game for much longer than
just under the amount of age of the years that I've been alive. Rotations around the sun.
So obviously the quality, I guess you can call it, is much more superior on something like Microsoft Office. Because even I run Mac OS, but I still have the whole Office suite just because it makes sense. There's, I mean, the iPages or whatever they're called, it just isn't even get close to what Microsoft can do. So just alone on that fact, if you're familiar with that, if you have an office job and you work with Word, Excel, anything like that, then you go to Chrome OS, and that's just.
And so why did they pick the Chromebooks? Because of the accessibility to the G Suite. CCSD chose to use the Google Classroom environment in order to deliver all of the class assignments and interact with the teachers and the students, which the Chromebooks are really, really solid fit for that.
Absolutely.
The flip side of that is it's not a touch screen, which is what all of our children have been raised around, in the last, 8 years. It's kind of weird to say that because we're waiting for a point in life and that, here we are. But I mean, just the fact that they have a keyboard and access to the web, as long as you have internet, then you should be fine in order as far as to fulfill their assignments on that. That said, those particular machines, they literally make them bare bones. So yes, they optimize so that they can get on the web, do video calls and audio calls, and publish their documents. But it's not designed for like gaming or any of that stuff. So
and probably because they're so inexpensive, it's they probably got a bundle deal for the thousands that they got.
Yeah, it's disposable. I mean, they could lose 300 not, and that's the cool thing. Is like because it's all web based, you could literally destroy that thing and you don't lose anything because it's all online.
Now,
that's the advantage.
I have I'm not sure if somebody can clarify this or if you're familiar with this, but I have the understanding that two Chromebooks can't work together when they're two devices connected, or something along the lines of that.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Okay, so that's just something that somebody mentioned. So I just wanted to see if you've heard.
I've never really tried to test that one though. Let me log into both accounts and then try and hack my way into that. But what environment would that happen? I'm not exactly sure. I do know I can say that we have two Chromebooks on the network and both of them in their own accounts doing their work.
And they're fine.
Challenges.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that being an issue, but I guess unlike your Microsoft, you can have multiple. You can have a Surface desktop, a Surface laptop, and the Surface Go, and all of them connected to the same account and be fine.
Yep.
Same thing with iOS, but I guess on the Chromebook it might not be the same.
I haven't experienced that.
So.
But if you know, hey, drop that information.
Let us know.
Let us know where that's coming from and dive into that one. So yeah, back as far as the Chromebooks go itself, they have super long battery life because of how much little power they use in order to do the work, which makes it really handy for the kids. Super durable, like just they're super durable.
Well, even if you broke it, how much can they be?
Oh right, yeah. And so at the end of the day, they still have to learn how to type in their sentence on a keyboard and how to be able to input their information on a browser, right? And go from there. So as far as like best use practices as a parent, highly, number one, recommend having the username and passwords, if you don't memorize them already, available for your children. Just somewhere handy. It's a pretty simple formula that they've used. But if for some reason you've got to reset the device or get logged in for whatever reason, that's the keys to the gateway. Once you're in, because it's all Chrome-based experience on the web browser, when they go to an app within the system, it should be as easy as log in with their Google account, and that's part of the reason why they made it super easy that way. So have that username and password available. It makes it a lot easier to log in. With that in mind, though, what I did as a parent is I actually logged in my Chrome browser, in my workspace, and where I usually have my Gmail account or my other Gmail accounts, I added them to my browser so that I can see what's going on. I don't have to log in, walk over, and check it out. I can just flip screens and check to see what progress they're doing. Oh, you needed something printed? No problem. Here we go. Press print. Done. There you go. It just makes it easier.
From a system you're familiar with.
Right. Well, I mean, plus, they'll run to the office and ask me for something. I don't have to walk back over there, try and press print, troubleshoot, and do any of that stuff. I can just do it right there. And the flip side of that is sometimes they do work, handwritten, and so I'll take a picture of that, and I can then upload it directly to their page, and then they can insert it into wherever their homework is at. So
It's awesome. It's neat.
so just a quick tip there to help move things around a little faster.
Welcome to 2020, huh?
I know. It's a lot of fun, actually. For most of the students out there, Google Classroom is where they will receive all of their assignments and being able to input it, unless it's either in Canvas, which is their new experience that they've added in there, and that's inside of the Clever login, which for the age, So different layers.
And
If I'm starting to speak Japanese here, let me
and
know.
Canvas is more for middle school and high school,
Yeah,
right?
that's what it sounds like.
So
And so the cool thing about Canvas, at least with the kids' experience, is being able to at least the teachers that we have, they've created basically this homeroom space. It's like a home page that they can go to for the kids and just land on. Okay, we need to take care of PE. This is the link to go there. I need to find out what the music session is for the day. Then we can go from there. As far as being able to have everything in one space, that's what they're designing, what they're working for, to be able to make that happen. So as far as the technology goes, the experience as a parent, we just kind of have to step back, put our thinking cap of what 10 years was on a computer, and just keep in mind this is focused on the web browser. So what potential issues could there be? You can obviously have a slowdown in the system because the RAM is really small. You could have multiple tabs. Make sure you close all the tabs off and restart the app. That might work. If it's still sluggish, if the system is kind of clunking around, a reset is often always the best solution. Like just power it off and restart. Yeah. And quite often that solves the problems for the systems, and it goes from there.
And I think a lot of times it's so easy to just put them in sleep mode at the end of the day, and then it goes weeks without you actually turning it off and turning it back on.
Right.
So just at the end on Fridays, they're not going to be used for the weekend. Just shut them down so they can go through that of clearing the cache and cycling through, so that way they're good for Monday.
That's right. Especially if you're running late on Monday morning. And then just like any web browser, there's always shortcuts. If you don't already know what they are, it's a good time to get familiar with them. Even if it's just for the kids or for you in your experience, shortcuts or hotkeys, as they're colloquially called, are just quick actions that you can use with 2 or 3 fingers that help you execute a function. For example, you have multiple tabs open and you want to switch, or in a computer you might have multiple windows open or apps, right? Alt-Tab will let you swap between those apps, right? If you are in the Chrome browser, Control-1 will switch you to the first tab. If you've got 5 tabs, Control-5 will jump you to the 5th or the 3rd tab, Control-3. If you've got like a dozen of them and you need to get to the last one, Control-9 jumps you all the way to the end. So cool shortcuts like that just really help make life a little easier as you start navigating this. And it's it's more stuff to learn, but it's cool. And if you need a link to what those Chrome shortcuts are, check the description below and you can follow that through.
I mean, other than that, I would say checking your Wi-Fi, making sure that you once in a while restart your modem or your router, making sure that it's in a central location. If your kids are working in the front of the house and the router is all the way in the back of the house and they might see some internet connections, that may be the issue. So you might want to move the router or move the kids closer to the router. If you can hardwire them in, do Chromebooks have hardwire capability?
They do, yeah.
They do. So if you can hardwire them, that's always going to be the better route. But that itself has other challenges. So
What does hardwire mean?
an Ethernet cable. I don't have one around here, but
Internet cable, yeah, I kept
yeah. So looks like a big telephone cable.
Yes.
For those of you who had telephones, not these.
Yes.
That brings us to another subject.
Whole different subject.
No.
All right, man. Well, that kind of covers everything, yeah.
I think so.
All right. So again, like tips and tricks and shortcuts. There's all kinds of shortcuts we can teach you through. Well, you know, a lot of the problems people have are usually unique to their individual situation, and that's where having a resource to help work through some of those challenges, it's available. If this is all new to you, totally set in on one of the video sessions that Clark County offers. That is, where are you at? They are offering technology distance education support for families. It's a video series. It's available on CCSD website. You can also check the description for the page. It's available for live and interactive sessions that walk parents through all of the things that they're going to need through those features. So check out that on the Clark County School District webpage. That does it for now.
Some tips and tricks for social distance learning.
Yeah. It's an interesting world we're living.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you guys have anything that you guys want to add, please drop it in the comments below. This is something like that Jared's dealing with, because I don't have any kids, so I don't have to ever that I have to worry about. But if I ever do have kids, hopefully, you know, they're back in the classroom.
We'll help you back. Well, that's it for this episode of the Uraine Ordonez 5 Diamond Group podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe or like button. I would love to be able to have you as a part of our list. And if you have any comments or feedbacks, drop them in the comment section below. You can catch us on all the social outlets. You can also DM us if you have any questions. We'd love to talk with you, whether it's personal or real estate. That does it for today. Have a wonderful day.